comes after the unimaginable comeback by New York in Game 1, coming from 22 down to steal it from Cleveland, and James Harden certainly couldn't steal it from Jalen Brunson.
You cannot hide with yellow shoes on. You can't hide with yellow shoes.
Harden attacked relentlessly in that fourth quarter. 15 points scored against him. Brunson finished the game 7 of 11 when guarded by Harden. And despite all that, this is what head coach Kenny Atkinson said when asked about Harden and what he told him.
Without you, we're knocked out in the first round. That's first. My personal opinion. So let's just stop there. We're in a great position. You've played great. Sometimes micro experiences get exaggerated. I said, keep being yourself.
That was a micro experience at the Garden.
It felt macro as that fourth quarter was going on. It started micro, and then they didn't call a timeout, and it sort of got turned into macro. Why are you laughing? When you hear the coach talking, why are you laughing, Sean?
Because, first off, when I got drafted to New York, K.A. was my guard coach coming in.
Kenny Atkinson,
under D'Antoni. So K.A. always had this way to him that you're like, he's a player. He answered that like a player. Like, that's my teammate, and y'all are going to back off. But K.A., come on, man. Come on, man. It just... There's certain moments in the playoffs that it's like, oh, yeah, it can be minuscule if we're talking about the regular season. But in the playoffs, when we see you, you limping? Oh, yeah, all bets off. We're going to run this every time. He can't move. Take him out. Take him out. But that's what the playoffs is designed to do. You miss a shot in the corner. You didn't make that 3 in the corner. Yeah, during the season, whatever. Maybe you get 2 of these. You about to shoot 8 of these tonight in the playoffs.
Right.
So when you do stuff like that and you get picked on, it's just, I would expect a teammate to hop in the way and say something like this, but a coach.
Remember, that started off without you.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking to us.
Right.
He's talking to James.
That is exactly
He's got to
correct.
sell James on this. He's got to make James, so you were so right about teammate. He took on that role. That's good coaching. He owed him a lot after the other night, which wasn't. But that's how you have to handle that on the off day. He was speaking through us to James Harden.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say the best way he can help him isn't just defending him in the media. He could get a game plan tonight.
That part might be
protect
nice.
him a little bit on how they're going to handle that when Brunson attacks him. But one thing Kenny Atkinson said that I absolutely did agree with is he said, you guys can talk about the defense all you want. Offensively, we died out there. And all the highlights are of Brunson, as they should be. Brunson was awesome. But the reason that the Knicks were catching up was because the Cavs stopped scoring on the other end.
Correct. This is when Karl-Anthony Towns went off for 7 rebounds in that fourth quarter alone. There were no second chance points. The Knicks defense, whether you want to say their offense died on the vine or the Knicks defense turned up in the fourth quarter, that part is true. But I think to your point, this is the playoffs. Yeah, that happened. But this was the thing that was an immovable force down the stretch, and nobody came to his rescue. Now, I had to settle down from my regional broadcast role with the Knicks. But then you think about it, y'all know who he is. To me, it was like, are we going to get some help in here? Like, are we going to try something different?
This is not breaking news.
That's the beauty of the playoffs, though. There's no running. You can't run from this. We all see it. We're going to walk it up. It's going to go 1-4 flat. And we looking for the yellow shoes. I heard you say it on TV. I can't let it go down.
Wear black shoes tonight.
I can't let it go down. Yeah, it stands out.
What's the chess move then? What Kenny Atkinson said? We all agree. He said what he has to say, whatever it is that he thinks. The coaches don't tell you the truth with their words. They tell you the truth with their actions. What's the adjustment that they make tonight?
I think on the flip side, Jalen Brunson has gotten the same sort of treatment at different points as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think Donovan Mitchell has to have a much better game for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And late in game, you're going to have to make Jalen Brunson more uncomfortable. Like, literally, if he was 7 of 11 with James Harden guarding him, 5 of those shots was off the glass, too. Like, he was just in a zone in terms of touch, and off the glass was over the bigs. And that's what I'm saying. That second level of help, somebody got to risk making the play. If you give up a layup on the back end, at least it wasn't 11 that continued to kill you.
Yeah, there's a couple things you can do. One, you can pre-switch. You can get him out of position. But the other thing is, frankly, Harden is not guarding Brunson. When they bring the ball up the court, Harden's not on him. The Knicks have to run a move to get Harden on him, and the Cavs just surrendered on those plays. They just let Harden get on. They didn't work one iota. work before you even get the isolation. Make the Knicks have to work very hard to force that matchup.
They tried to trap, but it was one of those, what are you doing? Like, it was a half.
It was too late.
It was not a committed trap at all.
I mean, what something that Shams just said about Brunson.
Yeah.
I mean, Brunson has been the victim of targeting as well.
Right.
Okay? But you can't have Donovan Mitchell walking up the right side of the court to the point where we all started asking each other, is he injured?
Yeah.
Is he hurt?
No. Something wrong.
He is so inactive after a 29-point performance, but last scored with 8.5 minutes left. So, no. Donovan Mitchell has to go at Jalen Brunson. That dynamic has to change.
And that's one of the reasons why Harden is so important. People say, take him off the court. They need him to stay on the court to help share the load because Donovan Mitchell does wear down. This has happened repeatedly in his career. He does wear down in fourth quarters. Harden is a floor raiser for them. They need Harden out there to carry the load offensively to ease it on Donovan.
The other thing, though, too, y'all, the Knicks were committed to their double team for a long time in that game, and Harden, to his credit, was eating that up. Like, the Knicks were giving up threes left and right, lobs in the paint because they were committed to double teaming James Harden, and he was basically the hockey assist, if you will.
I wanted to ask Shump one question. The additional rest that the Knicks got, it looked like that made a big difference in the fourth quarter, right? Yeah. The Cavs, the dead legs caught up to them, and the Knicks' freshness. Now, after one off day and playing again, do the Cavs get that rhythm back? The Sixers look much better in Game 2 than they looked in Game 1 2 weeks ago.
I can't speak for the Cavs. I do know that the Knicks are going to look a lot better.
Yeah.
I would expect it to look a lot more like we would have assumed a Game 2 would go now that they've found a way, especially with OG Anunoby being able to finally get that little jitter game out the way, test it out a little bit, still in the game, confident. He didn't play how he wanted to play. But mentally getting through that first game, getting his second wind out there again, them all getting a rhythm like that, I think that's scary for the Cavs. The Cavs should have stole that first game. They're going to have to defend home floor.
All right, we'll make our picks as we continue. Again, SGA had 30 last night. Victor Wembanyama had another very good game, but he didn't look superhuman as he did in Game 1, and OKC ties up the series at 1 game apiece. And we talked this morning about the injuries and the significant concerns, and what happens in those MRI tubes today may wind up deciding how this series goes. But I want to ask you guys, Shump, I'm going to start looking right at you. If particularly if the Spurs are a little bit hobbled, if they're going to win this series, is Wembanyama going to have to play like he played in Game 1 3 more times? Can they win if he isn't literally like an alien?
It might not need to be Game 1. I think Game 1 was pretty special.
Yeah.
I can't ask him to do that, but he is going to have to pull a rabbit out the hat. De'Aaron Fox, De'Aaron and I, we played together in Sacramento. I remember that game, my knee was swelled up. You asked me, why are you playing hurt? Why? These are the reasons right here. When you get in moments like this, you kind of know when you have to send a message. Tape that ankle up, do whatever you got to do. Your guys are down. They need to see somebody holding the flag for them. This is what the playoffs is made of, though. The adjustments happen, the injuries happen, and then somebody has to step up. I do think that one of the biggest things for the Spurs was their depth at the guard position, and now that gets taken away. I don't like when players go outside themselves, but if you're going to be somebody that can go outside yourself, be 7'5".
I guess that's right. Did they find, I guess the other way of looking at it is, with Hartenstein playing as well as he did and occupying him, and we talked about it a lot off the top of the show, there was no answer for Wembanyama, but did the Thunder find the right counter punch maybe
for last night.
that carries on?
Yeah, for last night. But they're going to have to try everything. That's why when people went crazy in Game 1 talking about the wings guarding him and being and Hardenstein, not Hardenstein, Caruso and Dort, you got to try everything. You got to change it up. If you got 5 pitches in the arsenal, use them. You're not just going curveball, fastball. That's what they're going to have to do. So it worked. It was a great counterpunch last night. Does that mean it's going to work in Game 3? No.
Well, one thing they could do is they have a guy on their bench that they could activate a little bit, and that's Luke Cornett. Luke Cornett has championship experience. He has barely played in the first 2 games. That would be double big, what they call down in San Antonio, the French vanilla lineup. I'm not saying they start that way, but one thing they could do if you're down on guards, you lean into your size, and that's one thing they could do. Also, I will point out Devin Vassell had an excellent night last night. It's been lost in all this. He had 6 threes. He can ball handle a little bit. They're going to potentially have to activate him to be more of a ball handler as well.
The other thing I think to keep in mind is we're going back to San Antonio now, right? And I'm not – the home court advantage of sort of the crowd, the impact, the environment on the officiating. We said it. Isaiah Hartenstein, to a degree, was like, you can't call everything. I'm going to be as physical as I want to be. He finished the game with 4 fouls. Would that strategy look different in San Antonio?
We're going to find out. That will be tomorrow night. Meanwhile, tonight we got game